So number 3, the topic is protests. Are you feeling more Malcolm or more Martin? Should there be a Black leader? If so, who? Brandon, I'll let you talk first.
All right, so I'm definitely feeling way more Malcolm than Martin. I think there needs to be Martins, but right now, I'm definitely feeling way more Malcolm because I feel like the peaceful approach has been tried through several similar situations and it hasn't done anything. And right now, even though it is disorganized and misguided, there's a lot of issues with it. There is getting a response now. There's a response happening. There's acknowledgement. There is a lot more unity and things happening with this more Malcolm approach to this situation. So, as for a Black leader, we don't have the ones like I guess we had when we were younger, like Al Sharptons and whatnot. But if I said I had to pick one right now, it'd probably be Obama, man, because he seems to be able to de-escalate situations and unify people very well.
Los.
I guess I'm really not feeling either one. I'm feeling more Garvey than anything, but
all right.
I don't really feel the protests just because those others are infiltrating our protest and what they say hijacking our protest. Even the ones who aren't doing violent things, I feel like you can hijack a protest just by altering the narrative to a capacity where it's like, it's kind of like saying all lives matter in some capacities when I see them others out there, you know what I mean? And it's kind of hard for me to digest. I'm not mad at anybody that protests, but I really wish that a lot of the energy and the aggression that we feel was more aimed at nation building versus trying to be a part of a nation that is resisting us.
Alicia.
I'm all for the Malcolms of the world. I think that it's needed to have some Martins to calm down the Malcolms, because I think sometimes like this, some things are a little out of control. But I think a lot of that has to do with, like you said, no leadership when it comes to it, because I feel even those few people who decided to break off and do their own thing and kind of turn the protest into something that it wasn't supposed to be, I feel that without proper leadership, that couldn't and wouldn't have happened. Because this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. I think it's more like now with, this generation under us, I feel that their intentions are good, but it's kind of just like how they are in life. Their upbringing is just so out of control anymore. It's just whatever, that there is no sense of respect. And I think a lot of that has to go with, I'm not saying that, the looting and the stuff like that, the protesting, stuff like that hasn't been done before. This hasn't been done before, but I feel that there's no respect factor anymore with certain things. I don't know.
I am team both, to be honest. I'm a little more Martin than Malcolm, but I'm not completely nonviolent either, because I do feel like some violence is necessary at times, especially in self-defense. I am not for the rioting. I think what we need to be doing, I feel like what we should be doing should be more focused on the actual area. Like, people are doing stuff in random places, and it's overshadowing what we're here for, what we're fighting for. And I just, like I told my kid at work, I'm like, if you want to have cake for dinner, you're not going to go to the store and buy broccoli and cauliflower, and like, your actions need to be lined up with what you hope an end goal would be. So I feel like people are just doing a bunch of random stuff, and I don't like the idea of that. as far as a leader, yeah, I guess Obama would probably be the guy. Yeah.
I need somebody on the ground, and I need somebody on the ground because he's not one to be on the ground and in the mix. He's just not that. His personality doesn't come off of it. He's kind of Mr. Laid Back, Mr. Cool Guy. I just feel that like we need somebody who's willing to get out there and get in these streets. Yeah, get hit by these rubber bullets. You know, me personally, I'm not one for it because I get really enraged. I'd be in jail before it even started. Because if I get hit with a rubber bullet, it's over. I'm just going to jail. But I don't know. I
don't really like the idea of black leaders.
Huh?
I don't like the idea of black leaders.
Well, that's why I was like, Obama, he is a leader. I feel like it's ever changing.
Wait, explain that. Explain to me.
I get what he means.
I don't like the idea of black leaders because, first off, the counterparts, or those others, they always just twist them to be patsies, or they twist them to represent all of us at one time, and they will use them for political agendas. So I don't like the black leaders because to my understanding, like the ones that we have now, I didn't get a chance to experience the ones from the 60s. I would have loved to be a part of the Garvey movement. I don't know if I would have been able to join the FOI just because of my religious background. But today's leaders, I just feel like they pander. They're too celebrity. They're too bougie. Like you said, as far as like Obama, he don't smell like us. He don't walk like us. Like I'm not really one for black leaders. I feel like if you're going to talk leadership, then it should be community based. You know what I mean? And it definitely got to start in the crib first. You know, like before we do anything.
So you want like the Stokely Carmichaels and the Huey P. Newtons and all that?
I'm not even. I mean, like to be honest, they don't have to be ultra aggressive. They don't have to be like militant to any capacity. But they definitely, if I'm gonna appoint someone to be a leader, I would hope that their mentality is nation building versus integration.
Brandon.
That's just how I feel.
Oh, you already went.
You already went.
So, B.
Yeah.
Are the riots and looting excessive or necessary? Alicia, you can go first.
I think they're absolutely necessary, and people are going to hate the way that I view this. But until you look at the way that people are responding to, and I'm talking about these companies that are responding to the looting and the rioting. They are coming out of the woodwork. You know how many times people have protested within our time, I just give it within the last 5 to 7 years. The people that have protested, you've never gotten this response from big companies. You know what they're putting out. We stand behind Black lives, or we're doing this and we're doing that, and it's because them people in Minnesota, or not Minnesota, but Indianapolis, whenever they rioted over there and they tore up that whole city, them niggas was not playing. They wanted to make a statement, and they absolutely made the statement. They absolutely made a statement because they tore that city from top to bottom all the way up. So I feel that it's necessary because look at the response you're getting now. They hear you. They see you.
Okay. I'm gonna go next, I guess. I feel like it's excessive. Because in a lot of ways we're hurting ourselves. Like in Atlanta, when T.I. and them was doing their speeches, a lot of them are destroying his buildings. like what? Or like they tore down, my homegirl hit me up, they tore down the Civil Rights Museum in North Carolina. Like, I feel like it's excessive, especially when it's just random acts and it does not have anything to do with what we're trying to do and what goals we're trying to achieve. So that's how I feel about it. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm sure it's I'm not a fan of specifically rioting and looting. I feel like people are taking advantage of this situation. And I feel like a lot of people just fed up with being in the house. So they just want to be out and about doing stuff. So, yeah, I'm not with it, to be honest. Brandon?
I don't feel it's excessive at all. I feel it's misguided. I feel it's unorganized. I mean, a lot of people's frustrations are about what they're attacking, not necessarily about, if they should be attacked or not. So for me, the rioting is not excessive. It just needs to be organized. Imagine how powerful it will be if we targeted specific things that we know would have a greater impact on this movement and these feelings. So I would like to see the same passion and the same actions, but with the organization of picking a very specific target.
Boom. I agree.
Lauren left, so I'll ask him when he gets back.
All right.
C, powerful versus powerless. Will there be another civil war? Should there be another civil war? Brandon?
Yes. Okay, so this is how all the big revolutions start, when the powerful become too tyrannical over the powerless, and the powerless, revolt. So it's always that top 1% versus the bottom 99%. And that's exactly what's happening. And to me, I think that this is going to be the next big civil rights movement, is that the people on the bottom are tired of being on the bottom.
Right.
And so this is what happens right now. Right now is a perfect example. This is like a start to that, and it's become very physical. We've tried the peaceful thing. And this has been throughout history. I mean, even when the American Revolution happened, we had gone to the King of England a couple of times and said, hey, can we please have our freedom? And they were like, nah, and they kept on fucking with us. And then eventually what happened? Revolutionary War happened, and, we kicked England out for a bit. And we had to come down to that. Had to come down to a full war to make it happen, to get people to listen, to get people to respect it. Now we're cool with England. So I feel like this is another necessary situation where that has to happen. Even for the civil rights movement that we did, it got very physical in a lot of places. So that had to happen for people to listen.
Right.
Alicia?
To me, this is one more point. To me, this is very similar to that student at school, getting bullied time after time. The teachers are ignoring it, the principal, parents ain't doing nothing, and eventually a school shooting happens. And, that's when people want to pay attention. So that's what's happening right now.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, because I feel that, a lot of people want to take, and it started really making me mad. There's 2 points in which people are making me mad. Or they're saying that this rioting, burning stuff down, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, oh, did y'all forget the many times that, these white supremacists have burned cross on colored folks' front doorsteps, burning down their houses, losing everything that they got because you don't like me? But meanwhile, now that I'm burning your buildings down and you're going to have to rebuild and respend money, yeah, we're all going to have our taxes going to go up and stuff like that. Okay, that's nothing new for us people at the bottom. That's nothing new for us. But it's like, now we have to make the change, and we need, and the difference is that we're going to have more white people starting to get upset about what's going on, because I think that they're sick of it. Because now everything that they want is being affected by it. The white people at the bottom with us, the ones that are down here with us, not those higher up ones, no, not them corporate ones, but I'm talking the ones, the Karens and the Beckys. They're going to get tired of it because it's like, oh, well, they keep burning down my building. I'm sick of this. Black Lives Matter. You're right. They do. Now let's move on. That's how I feel that they're getting. But my whole thing, and another thing that, you know, people are making me mad about with all of this is that, like, when it comes to these protesting and stuff, they gotta realize, like, it's so much deeper. Like, I have so much in my mind that I want to say about this because it goes so deep for me. It's different for me. It's systematic for me. People want to bring up so much stuff and they're not looking at the root of the problem. They're looking at what's going on in the chaos and the noise that's going on around them, but they're not looking and digging into the root of the issue. This is a simple systematic problem for institutionalized Black folk. Like, that's us. Here we are. Like, you have to understand there's so much that go into it. Oh, I want to say so much. Sorry, Sherelle.
Go ahead. Be great, girl. I'm letting you have your time to shine.
It's like people be making me mad, yo. Making me so mad.
Okay, so I do not like the idea of war. Like I said, I'm not 100% nonviolence though. But I don't like the idea of war. I feel like war begets war. And I feel like it's going to, I feel like it's, for those who want it, it's all good until their spouse or child is a casualty of that war that they wanted to create. So I don't like the idea of war. Do I think action should be taken? Absolutely. Do I think pressure should be applied? Absolutely. Do I think we need to piss off some folk? For sure. Do I think war is the answer? No, I don't like it. And what I don't like is when people say, oh, well, we got to try this because what Martin did or peaceful protests didn't do anything. And so we got to try this. So let's start here. First of all, Martin's efforts absolutely did something, just as Malcolm's efforts did. It took both of them. Both of them ended up dead. So let's start there. So one didn't have some plan that was better and got them, and they're still here to share it. They both died. Also, this is not our first time rioting. So a lot of people I find, in my experience, who are for the rioting, for the looting, for the war, a lot of those people talk as if this is our first time doing this. We've rioted several times before. One of the most famous people to do it was Nat Turner. And we're still here in 2020 asking and seeking and hoping for change. So this is not some new plan or some new idea that somebody came up with that we've never done before. So I hate when people act like the peaceful side has done nothing. Mm-hmm. This side has never been tried, so let's try it now. Right. No, that's inaccurate. So, like I said, I just feel like things need to be a little more direct with what we decide to do. I don't like the idea of war because I feel like our goal is to stop Black people from being killed. And so war is going to make sure of that. So more of us will be killed to get to the promised land. Now, will more of us be killed either way? Yes. People are not just going to stop dying just because we don't have a war. But I feel like that's going to ensure it. So I'm not a fan of that idea.
Me neither, Sherelle. Me neither.
All right.
It needs to be both, man. Once the Malcolms get the attention, then the Martins can come in there and get things worked out.
I do feel like there needs to be a little of both, for sure. D. Foreign countries have stated that America is hypocritical for using violence on the public, arresting reporters, etc. I know I don't have a lot to say about this. I feel like America is hypocritical and a lot more corrupt than we even know about.
Right.
Shrugs.
Very true. We shun other countries for doing the exact same thing that we're doing.
Right. And we always want to come in as the big bad wolf, whenever one country is bullying, another set or group of people. But meanwhile, there is a whole set of people in this country that bully and target another group of individuals because of the color of their skin. But meanwhile, you don't do nothing about it and it's not a problem. You feel what I'm saying? And so, like,
Yeah.
you know, I, I don't see the one bullet point on here that I was hoping.
The one you mentioned?
No, I don't see on here the one bullet point that I was hoping that was going to be on there, but I'll bring it up later.
Not the one you mentioned to me? Because the one you mentioned to me is on here. It's just not right in this area.
Was that the black on black crime?
No. You didn't say anything to me about that. What do you want to add about that?
Because I feel that that's another thing that, a lot of us, we don't talk about. We don't say nothing about it, and that's the very first thing that white people bring up to us is how you gonna care about Black lives when the black on black crime that goes on in the community. And I was I'm done arguing with people.
They're no longer calling it black on black crime. Well, some people, they're now calling it proximity crime.
Right.
Because you're likely to, if you're going to kill, you're likely to kill somebody within a certain proximity of you, which will probably be black if you're black. I don't know.
I just hate that. I hate that that rebuttal. Two rebuttals: black on black crime and all lives matter. Two rebuttals that are two of the worst things that it's just like, how many times does somebody have to explain these two things to you? When it comes to, it's so, crazy to me that, like, I don't know. Terrell. I think he's frozen.
Are you frozen?
Who, me?
Yeah, your picture's frozen.
No, I'm still here.
Let it go.
That's what you look like. Oh, there you are. No, I mean, I don't know. I just look at the way that people, like, talk about those things, and the black on black crime thing to me really bothers me. Like, it really bothers me. Like, it burns a hole in my soul, because it's just like, that's your rebuttal to me saying that my life matters. Whether you're black, orange, green, purple, or yellow, my life matters. But because I'm black, you hate me just because of the color of my skin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you hate me and my brother just because we're breathing. Like, you feel me?
I feel like they're two, I don't want to say they're two totally different topics.
I think they are.
Our issue is with systematic racism, period. That's our issue with racists. Now our issue amongst ourselves, to me, is black on black crime. Is that their problem? No, it ain't. But I do feel like we got to figure out how we have to find some kind of unity amongst ourselves in order to combat them. So I don't feel like that's no rebuttal at all. That's not we have to find some kind of unity amongst ourselves. I just do feel like that. Like,
but see, I feel
have nothing to do with stop killing us.
Right.
Stop killing us.
That's see, I'm looking at it different, because it's a system thing for us. I feel that a lot of what we go through was put there for us to believe and do and feel against our own brother, like, and our own sisters, and that competition, and that that's where the term Uncle Tom's came from, because it's like, for me to get ahead, I gotta put you down. We both can't be up here, but meanwhile, yes, we can both be here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
In a lot of ways, they have caused the racism that they've shown us has caused the divide amongst us.
but also, just like I was just telling this lady the other day, I said, how am I supposed to say that, you know, I matter, my life matters, when to the rest of the world it doesn't? Like, you know what I mean? So how am I supposed to look at my brother and say, yeah, you know, your life matters, even though you may owe me that money. I want to kill you over the money, but, you know, your life matters, when to everybody else in the world, my life doesn't matter because of the color of my skin. And I'm not saying that should be, you know, the main reason on why you shouldn't do it, but it's why you shouldn't kill anybody. But I'm just saying, there's so much in my head. I just want to say, like, and I just can't.
Speak your mind, girl.
No, because like these white people out here just be making me mad because they use any excuse not to listen to you. They take.
And I don't feel like that's an excuse for them not to listen to us. I don't feel like that.
I do.
And I want to say it's not all white people.
It's not. I don't want to overgeneralize.
No. Brandon, what's your thoughts on this?
I think that it's a symptom for the real problem. I think that it's a mentality that was built a couple centuries ago, for us to have that crab in a barrel mentality, for us to feel like we need to be territorial and aggressive. And for some reason, we just keep it within our own community instead of projecting it where it needs to go. And so it is a problem that needs to be addressed, but I do feel that it's separate from this particular issue. So however we conduct ourselves within our own community shouldn't be something that people outside the community are going to use to say, hey, I can do whatever we want because y'all are doing this. Mm-hmm. That's not how that works.
Okay, so this subtopic, there was the guy, I believe he played, if he did not play Spider-Man, he played in the Spider-Man, you know, the Black Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. His name is Shameik Moore, and he made a comment on Twitter where he said, y'all don't conduct yourselves with, let me say this over because I can't read right now. Y'all don't conduct yourselves well with police. That's why y'all die. So I want to know, do you agree? Is there a problem with conduct? And then I want also to talk about protest shaming. Do you have to agree with every Black person's actions just because you are Black? Brandon, you go first.
I think it's a little bit of both in regards to interaction with the police. So there are situations where Black people initially get defensive when it comes to interaction with police just because of historically how we've been treated. So they may agitate in a situation that doesn't necessarily have to go there. But at the same time, police approach the situation in a negative way as well, whether just because they want to flex and their power, whether it's racism or what. So I think it's individuals in both situations that cause outcome. So his statement isn't 100% incorrect, but I do feel that it's not helpful. I don't like that he says this. It's not helpful. What was part 2 of the question?
Protest shaming. Do you agree? Do you have to agree with what every Black person's actions are just because you're Black?
No. We are still individuals. No.
I guess I'll go next. I totally agree with you. I feel like it's bad timing for that. Like, this is not time for that. So it's not helpful. I do feel like there are times, because of what we've been through, like you just said, there are times when we escalate an already escalated situation. Because it's already all escalated from jump. I don't agree though that that's why we get killed, because we're dying regardless, whether we've done something to agitate the situation or not. So we're dying regardless. I don't think that that's the reason we die, but I do feel like people are taking advantage of the situation of what has happened, or some are just on the defense because of what has happened, and it does escalate a conflict with the police. I don't like the idea of protest shaming. A lot of people assume that you're just gonna believe what they believe off rip, and that's just it. And if you don't, then you're totally against everything. Like, for instance, when I would say, like, I don't like rioting or looting. Well, what did Martin do for us? The peaceful way is not the way either. Well, wait a minute, I didn't say that either. Don't script write to what I said, because I feel like with that man who had the bow and arrow, he got beat up. He should have got beat up.
Yeah, that was funny.
I feel like he should have got beat up.
Oh, that was wild.
You get what you get. Like,
right.
Stupid games win stupid prizes. That's how I feel.
I like that. I like that quote. Stupid games win stupid prizes.
Stupid games win stupid prizes. But then in the same sense, if with the guy who stole the police horse and he's rolling down and he's galloping down the street, if he gets billy clubbed, I don't like seeing nothing happen to my people, but I can't say I feel that bad. You stole a police horse for no reason. You're not even. Did that happen here? That might have even happened here in Pittsburgh.
I don't know if it happened in Pittsburgh or not.
Okay. But you weren't even in the city where everything happened at. You just stealing a random horse and rolling down the street just because you want some clout. But I'm supposed to feel a ways when something happens to you. So I do think that is an issue. I look at it the same way as like the black on black crime. It's a separate issue in a sense, because we're getting killed for not doing anything.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sherelle, because I feel that, I think where it goes left for us is when we start hearing nonsense from the police officer. Like when they are doing too much and you know that they're doing too much, and it's like, bro, like it's really not even that serious. And it's like, it's like, who are you talking to like that by raising your voice? And I'm like, I didn't raise my voice. Are you talking back to me now? And it's like, bro, ain't nobody even doing that. And then you start getting irritated.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they antagonize you to get you to that point. They want you to escalate. They want to see where you're going to go with it so that they can do that. And then when it escalates, then they could point the finger at you and say, you did that. You got upset. You raised your voice. You did this. You caused your own death. And it's like, I didn't even do anything but, ask you what my rights are. I asked you why you pulled me over, why you pulled me over, and you get an attitude with me because I'm asking you a question because you feel like you're superior to me and you feel that I shouldn't be asking you no questions. Yeah. Whereas like I'm just being a human being and I just want to know the answer to my question, and then it goes left. Yeah. It goes all the way left because your ego takes the best of you because you feel because of who I am, I shouldn't be asking you no questions.
And you feel like you have authority over. But right. Like you said, those incidences happen all the time where the person right. didn't even say anything and the cop walking up. I remember I was in a car accident. He just bammed on my window, and I'm like, what? Like, he's just talking to me crazy and I'm terrified not knowing, what's right. going on. But then I saw a girl on Facebook, she had her phone out and he's like, ma'am, can you get out the car? What? I mean, I don't gotta get out my car. She's videotaping him, telling him she ain't gotta get out her car. She's talking smart, she's talking back. And she's escalating this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't say that I don't have a problem with that. That's why I didn't like the movie Queen and Slim, to be honest. I did not like it. But that's another. I digress with that. Because the minute he walked to the car, what you gonna do? Kill us? Whoa, you just took this from 30 to like 75 now. Like, it was already escalated. It's already, when they get out their car, they walk up to you, it's escalated at that point already.
Right. Right. So I feel that, but I also feel in another breath, controversial to that is that I also feel that as a police officer, as you, the person that holds the higher position than me, that you should be able to de-escalate that to make me feel comfortable enough to be with you. But
Absolutely.
you don't want me to feel comfortable with you. You want me to fear you.
Yep.
So in fear, it's fight or flight. So that's where we get into that, that mode of, I'm in danger, and we start sweating and we start, talking crazy, and people can only handle so much pressure, but you as the person who holds the position should know how to de-escalate that situation to make me feel comfortable enough to get through this and we can both go home.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing against a police officer doing their job. I really don't. If you're doing your job and you're doing it effectively, I have no problem with you. But when you take your authority and you implode, you blow it up, as in this is, like you walk around here like, yeah, you're gonna respect me because of who I am. Start asking me questions. You don't get that right. Excuse me, I know my rights. So,
Brandon.
Yeah.
what about you, bro? What you think?
Anything else?
No, I got nothing else on top of that, man. Right now, I'm watching, I guess, police do their job right now in New York. Some people got hurt. They're trying to enforce this curfew right now in all the cities, but the protesters are peacefully still out past curfew, and now the police are getting pushy,
Okay.
and people getting ran over and trampled.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask the next two questions? The last of the questions.
All right. So right now we're on to more productive stuff, man. I think this is what Los was talking about in terms of nation building. So there are a lot of, I guess, white people that are considered allies. Of course, the cool ones, and some of them don't know how to support us as people of color in this situation. Some of them don't know what to do. And then we have the ones that are complete opposite. We have the extremists and anarchists that are taking advantage of this situation in an attempt to move their agenda forward. So the initial question is, for those who want to help, what is our, I guess, recommendations or just advice on how they can be helpful? So let's go ahead and start with that one. For the ones that want to help.